Hey everybody, welcome to MattBreaksWax. I've got some crazy stuff going on. My desk is a mess, but it's the end of the year. This is my first year doing this channel, and I started back in July. Just kind of thinking I would try it and see if anybody liked it. Put things out there for people to see. Opening up stuff that I like to open, and really just focusing on junkwax era stuff. And it's been a hit. I mix in some modern stuff here and there, and you've seen that. Being the end of the year, I thought I'd do something kind of special and just kind of do a year in review kind of thing. I know a lot of people are doing that. Maybe cards people that do their collections or anything like that. For me, I think I'm just sticking with the memories here. I mean, that's really what this channel is about. So for me, I'm going to start my list with 10 base cards that just kind of took me down memory lane. For me, this hobby is much more about memories than building a big collection or anything like that. I know that's not the same for everybody, but for me, it's just the nostalgia of thinking back and my childhood and opening packs with friends or hearing stories from my dad. And that's kind of what I'm celebrating here with these end of the year review videos. And maybe I'll talk about some of the things that I'm still chasing as we go into the new year. And it's kind of cool because it'll be a sneak preview. Some of this stuff is not out on the channel yet, so you haven't seen me pull it. So you kind of get that sneak preview of what I've got coming up. And so if you take the time to watch this, maybe you'll be tuning in for those videos when they drop. So I want to get started. Number 10. These are not really any particular order, but these are junkwax era cards, base cards. 10 junkwax era base cards that took me down memory lane. So this is from 99 Tops. This is Ken Griffey Jr. Seeing this card, I mean, it's in great shape. I thought about grading this one. It's just I don't have too many horizontal cards that are graded, so I was considering that. But it's just an awesome card because this is really the peak era for me of following Griffey and his career. It's just one of my favorite base cards that I pulled this year. So I'm going to put these up as I drop them here, and that way you can celebrate them with me. So we'll kind of get that going. All right. Number 9, this is 92 Upper Deck, Jose Canseco. They did this a couple of times using just different camera techniques by the photographers and the exposure. I know they had this one. They had another one with Ricky Henderson running, and there's like 3 of him running. And so I feel like maybe this was a photographer playing around at an athletics game and just trying to capture some awesome stuff. And it really came through on those 2 cards for sure. But this was just nostalgic for me because I remember seeing this card as a kid and just not really knowing what it is photography-wise yet because I was still young, but just seeing awesome, the progression of his swing, through to running. It's just amazing. I loved it. I was so on board with that as a kid, just amazed by it. All right. Number 8, 80s Tops Bo Jackson cards. These were the rage. I had a cousin who collected, and I would kind of follow what he was into. And, I had friends that I collected with later on that, we chased certain cards. That was more Frank Thomas and Ken Griffey Jr. But early in my collecting, it was Bo Jackson and Nolan Ryan. Those were the 2 big ones that I went after. So these were ones that I was trying to get as a kid. I thought Bo Jackson was so cool. I had because he played baseball and football. I had the game on my Game Boy, Bo Jackson's baseball and football, and it was just he was everywhere at that point in time. So that's number 8 for me. Is really 2 cards, but I'm going to do that to sneak in some extra stuff here. All right. I'm going to do another twofer. And this is number 7, Rick Dempsey base cards. So I got an 86 and an 87 Tops. on these, the designs of the cards themselves just couldn't be more different. Topps kind of going away from the white border to the wood paneling that looks like your grandmother's basement. I think it's just a different kind of move for Topps, and I'm here for it, right? And they ended up going back to the white borders, right? Obviously in the 88s and 89s, but these 2 years I think we're just really trying to I don't know, just be different. A lot of people didn't like the black borders up here because it got damaged a lot. It was kind of hard to keep them nice. I love them. And the reason I love them is because my dad loved Rick Dempsey. And I remember my dad telling stories about Rick Dempsey doing, they call it like rain delay theater, right? So during a rain delay, they'd take the tarp out and he'd go out and like get the crowd worked up who was still sticking around, try to entertain them, almost like just hype man, just hyping up the crowd. That's fun, right? That's what the game's supposed to be about. It's a kid's game. It's a fun game. And Rick Dempsey knew how to make it fun. I just have very fond memories of my dad telling me stories about Rick Dempsey. So, those two definitely made my collection special this year. All right. Greg Maddux, number 6. So, did I do that right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay. I'm just counting how many cards are left, and I don't even know if I have enough. That seems weird. I think I have one. I have one extra. I'm good. All right. So the Greg Maddux. Any of the early Greg Maddux cards, I loved. He ended up being one of my favorite pitchers of all time, especially as he moved over to the Braves. I got, my parents got cable, and I was able to watch him more frequently in the mid '90s. But even in the '80s, like the late '80s, as he was getting started with the Cubs, like we knew he was going to be a good pitcher, and just I didn't. I think I appreciate now more than back then. All of the things that were going into his game and hearing some of the stories that his catchers are telling, just great. So I'm going to put him up as well. All right. All right. Number 5. Barry Bonds in the 87 Topps. This is this is the early part of Barry's career. I think the rookie, I think officially is like the Topps traded 86. But obviously this is very early. Some people call this the rookie as well. First full season with the Pirates. But that Topps traded card is usually considered the first one. Barry Bonds obviously has baggage, right? But he was the best of the best during that era. I'm the asterisk kind of guy, right? Like those guys still had to go out there and pitch those pitches and hit those balls. I know some of them were, maybe playing with unfair advantages. But with the prevalence that everybody was doing it and maybe just not getting caught, you still had to go out there and put the bat on the ball every day. And the stuff that he did was just superhuman. Maybe he had some extra help doing it, but I'm an asterisk guy. I still respect for what he did. Even though him and others may have been, a little enhanced while that was happening. I just, I don't let that ruin my love for the guy as a player, and what he did on the field. So, hey, this is the Barry that I remember watching, Skinny Barry. I just, I talk about how his head grew. I think that, I think that this one just captures that Skinny Barry, that early kid had so much potential. You kind of knew he was going to be great. The things that he was doing already between home runs and stolen bases. just the beginning of what would be a long and celebrated career. All right. Nolan Ryan. So I got a Donruss 89 Nolan Ryan. So Nolan Ryan was the hype. Everybody was chasing when I was a kid. We're trying to get any Nolan Ryan cards, and he'll come up again in other reviews. But for base cards, this is one of my favorites that I got this year. Obviously, the 89 has the orange back. This one's very clean, very sharp, and I was pretty happy with it. There's some other fun Ryan cards, but for me, for this year, this was a great one. And I'll get into more of the things that I love about Nolan Ryan as we get into some of those other cards that I pulled. All right, 87 Roger Clemens. I got some marks on some of these cases, but that's okay. You can still see the card. 87 Roger Clemens. This one for me, Roger Clemens was just that next guy behind Nolan Ryan, right ahead. He was actually, for me, he was ahead of Greg Maddux for a little while until Maddux kind of hit the Braves and kind of hit his stride of just magical pitching, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it, but Roger was just going to blow you away and then catch you looking on something off speed. And Maddux was more the technician, where he was changing direction, changing speed, changing location. So I think this card just kind of captures the early days of that for me. As a base card, it's the oldest Clemens that I have. I have like some of the 88 and 89 stuff, but to get an 87, I was happy because this is now the oldest Clemens that I have in my collection. So, all right, coming down, number 2. I've got to get another stand out here so you can see it. Number 2 is going to be 86 Cal Ripken Jr. I pulled this pretty early in the life of the channel, so that video is out there. Cal is my favorite Oriole growing up. I was an Orioles fan through a lot of the dark days of Orioles fandom, where 14 straight losing seasons. I mean, that's rough as a fan. But the early days of my Oriole fandom, late 80s, early 90s, the Orioles were decent. They were competitive. They were trying to keep up with Yankees and Red Sox. 97 with the wire-to-wire season, winning 100 games. It's just a great time to be an Oriole fan. Seeing Cal on an 86 card, I only had a few packs of the 86s when I started this channel. And, to get a Cal, in one of the first packs, that hit me pretty good for the hometown guy, getting the hometown guy. So this is one of my favorites up there that I pulled this year. All right, my favorite base card of all that I pulled this year was this Ken Griffey Jr. from Fleer 92 Fleer Ultra. I did send it in to get graded, and it did grade a 10, so that came back perfect. I think it looks great in these slabs. Some people don't like degree. I don't care. It's for me personally. I personally like it, so that's why I do it. With degree, I just like their presentation. Same as SGC, with the dark label, I just like that better. I think it looks cleaner for me and what I like. But, this in general, just seeing Griffey up there at bat, he has the sweetest swing in the game. He's one of the best players ever to do it. And definitely one of the top 2 or 3 players of my generation, just watching the game. And, seeing the career that he had. He did everything: offense, defense, stealing bases, home runs. He played the game well. And, I love pulling this card. So for me, these are the top 10 cards, base cards that I pulled that kind of took me down memory lane. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to do a couple more of these videos, so tune in over the next couple of days, and you'll get to see some of the best pulls that I've had for this year, and hopefully you enjoyed them as well. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you, and be well. Wishing you a happy holiday season, happy New Year. Please be sure to come back, and we'll enjoy these together. Have an awesome day.